So there were a few questions that I thought I would begin by answering. And if people have questions on the sadhana and the practice and doing retreat, just, write a note and then I'll deal with them, during these Q&A sessions. Okay, so one person said, um, she's doing only the 1 month retreat and she wants to know if she can continue at home. And so that's fine to do. Usually you're supposed to do just on one seat without changing seats. But if conditions prevent that, then I think it's better that you continue, you continue at home and you count those and it's fine. Okay. If you have the conditions to do it all at one seat without moving, you should definitely do it like that. Okay. So saying it's okay for the people doing the 1 month retreats to continue because they want to do the Nundro practice is not a reason for the people at the Abbey to say, well, I want to go on vacation and I'll do a session a day. Okay. Then the second question was about continuing to do some of the practice with the Thursday night teachings, the debate book, with a partner, and that's fine. And if you want to organize a session to go through and train with the people who are doing the Thursday night class, then go right ahead and do that during your study period. Okay. Then, this is from something that one of the people in the weekend retreat wrote. So she said, the teachings on deconstructing our identities have broken my heart open in a good way. For as long as I can remember, I've struggled with good enough, or rather, not good enough. And so this is a view that many of us have, I would say most people have. I'm not good enough. A view that manifests in seeking approval and has led to much negative karma. I know from teachings that I'll carry this legacy forward if I keep feeding this affliction. So that's a really good insight. If we see that we have a problem in the way we're thinking about something or a particular emotion that's really troubling to us, if we don't deal with it now, it's just going to keep going in the future of this life, into our future lives, and we're never going to rest in peace or come to a peaceful conclusion with it. So it's very important that anything that comes up, we really try and work with now and not just shunt it aside and say, I'll deal with that, in 15 lifetimes or in 15 days or whatever. Because it's not going to go away by itself, our different afflictions. Okay, but today, out of my discomfort and thanks to the teachings, new possibilities came through. I felt Vajrasattva in my heart as the embodiment of perfect love and compassion of all the Buddhas, and he was looking at me with those perfect qualities. He was also radiating unconditional acceptance for me, just as I am. Okay, so this is, at the end when Vajrasattva dissolves into us, this is really how we should meditate and how we should feel. And even when, at the beginning, when we're going over the specific things and also the general categories of misdeeds that we want to purify, we should also think of Vajrasattva in this way, looking at us with 100% acceptance and compassion. Okay, so that old mind of judgment that thinks everybody and their aunts and uncles are judging us, we got to throw that mind out. Okay, because that mind, if you look at that, that assumption that everybody is judging us, Yeah, be they ordinary beings or bodhisattvas or Buddhas or whatever. Yeah, that's a view that we believe. On what evidence? Isn't that a wrong consciousness? Yeah, you see, we think it's an inference, or at least a correct assumption. But actually, it's a totally wrong consciousness, because we're imputing motivations on other people and even on the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas that they don't have. Yeah, if you think Buddhas and Bodhisattvas are judging you, do you have a correct idea of what Buddhas and Bodhisattvas do? That's really way off. And even other living beings, I really don't think people spend as much time judging us as we think they do. I think they're much more engaged in thinking about themselves. Yeah, I really don't think they spend so much time thinking about us and how bad we are and how inferior and blah, blah, blah. This is all our doing, our garbage mind, okay? So this is what we have to really throw out. And it may be difficult at first. I know at the beginning, when I tried to imagine Vajrasattva looking at me with acceptance, it was like, but nobody's ever looked at me with acceptance. Yeah, how can this be? I'm not worthy of being looked at with acceptance. But then when you think about it, well, why not? Yeah, why not? And then, let's let Vajrasattva do his thing instead of saying, look, Vajrasattva, you got it all wrong. I'm really inferior. Don't look at me with acceptance because I really can't change. What are we doing to Vajrasattva when we're latching on to all of our wrong conceptions? Yeah, give Vajrasattva a break. Okay, and she said, then I thought, this is how I train my mind to shed this never good enough identity. If I generate this image and feel over and over and over again, it will have the power to replace my reliance on praise. Exactly. So this is also what we were talking about last night, in the debate class, the power of how you have to familiarize your mind with a new idea. Okay? So this is something that you gain by familiarization, by repetition. Okay? Not an inference. Okay? I'm trying to relate things here so that you get, so that the Thursday night class seems applicable, because it is applicable. Okay, so she continues, I can teach me what good enough, dear, means. Yeah, we can teach ourselves what that means. We don't need other people to say, oh, you're so sweet, you're so lovable. We need to be confident in ourselves, because one day we're going to, we're actually, what we're doing now is we're practicing so that one day we will become bodhisattvas. When we're bodhisattvas, yeah, we aren't going to thrive around people saying, oh, you're so wonderful, you do things so well. Bodhisattvas don't care beans about that kind of praise and approval. Why? Because they know in their own hearts that they have a good motivation. They know in their hearts that, they're coming from a good place. And if they aren't coming from a good place, they know that too, and they confess it and purify it. So what we're doing now is training so that we can become like the bodhisattvas in that way. And wouldn't it be nice to be free from this neediness inside, to have other people say sweet, ego-pleasing words to us? Yeah, wouldn't that be a relief? Where you could just relate to people honestly, with confidence, without You know, all the little tricks that we do, how we prime people so that they'll praise us? You know, it's called manipulation. But we do it, don't we? When we want praise and approval, we say certain little things so that somebody will come back and tell us how wonderful we are and how much they love us and blah, blah. Okay? And that's really not so honest with other people, is it? Yeah? So it's much better to, have a valid sense of self confidence based on knowledge of our Buddha nature and the possibilities to become fully awakened. And then just live life benefiting sentient beings instead of, please give me some praise, please, please, pretty please, tell me I'm worthwhile. That's kind of what we're like, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. So teaching myself, I'll read what she said before so I can continue on. If I generate this image and feeling over and over and over, it has the power to replace my reliance on praise. It can teach me what good enough, dear, means. This is how I strengthen my refuge in the three jewels instead of taking it in the approval of others. Yeah? So really good insight there. So please continue. And I think what she said there is really valuable and for all of us to practice. Okay?